Hey everybody, it's Miss Johnson. So I really miss all of you, and I decided after finding something in my tree outside that we would come up with a fun way to learn. The other day, Anna Claire and I were walking outside and we were like, look, and we found this cool nest in a little bush at my house. And you can probably tell there's 4 eggs in the nest. Now I'm not going to tell you what type of bird is in that nest. That can be something for you to maybe look up with your family and figure out what type of bird lays bright blue eggs. But because I saw that, it made me think about something about springtime. And so I happen to have this book at my house. It's called Egg to Chicken. And in the spring, we know a lot of animals are laying eggs. A lot of animals come out from hibernation, flowers are blooming, we have all kinds of changes. So I'm going to read to you today this book called Egg to Chicken, and it's a life cycle book. And the author is Camilla de la Barre. And of course, before I get started, all of you guys see a lot of text features already. We have our table of contents that tells about each part of the book. So as I read, look for those text features. And I want you to answer at home, what type of book is this? Does it tell a story, or is it going to be informational text? I'll give you a couple seconds. All right, hopefully you said informational text. The first heading says, what is a chicken? A chicken is a type of bird. All birds have feathers and wings, and all birds lay eggs. Feathers help birds to fly and to stay warm and dry. Flying takes a lot of energy, so birds need to eat often. Not all birds can fly. Ostriches have wings but cannot fly. Ostriches are the world's largest birds. Some are more than 6 feet tall. And this is a really cool caption. It says, 1 ostrich egg weighs the same as 24 hen eggs. Now, hen eggs are the type of eggs you would buy at the store that we cook with, but an ostrich egg is bigger than 24 of those regular eggs. This also says that birds have mouths called beaks or bills, but birds have no teeth. The story of a chicken. There are more chickens in the world than any other type of bird. A hen is a female chicken. A male chicken is called a rooster. A chick is a baby chicken. Chicks begin their lives as eggs. The story of how an egg grows into an adult chicken is called a life cycle. We know a lot about life cycles through our study of plants this year. A chicken goes through these 3 stages in its life cycle. First, it's an egg, then it becomes a chick, and then it grows into an adult chicken. Now, while it's an egg, there's lots of different stages that happen inside of that egg before it becomes a chick. This book's not going to probably tell us all about those stages, but once again, that's something else that you can look up and learn more about. All right, this heading says making a nest, just like our nest in the tree. Hens start laying eggs when they are around 6 months old. First, they need a nest to lay the eggs in. Hens build their nest on the ground. They find somewhere that's dry and quiet, and they use straw or grass to make a nest. But let's talk about birds, just like the one in Miss Johnson's tree. The smallest bird nests are built by hummingbirds. And if you guys can tell, this is a pine cone, and a little hummingbird has a nest that's that small on a pine cone. This is a bird of from a large bird, and it's built like with twigs and straw. Now, the one, if we investigated in our tree, you can tell that he's used some dried leaves that he found around my yard, some dried up grass. There's a couple pieces of bigger straw in there. Sometimes you'll even see him use pieces of plastic or things from trash, but he didn't find any of that in our nest. All right, let's go back to our chicks. The hens have laid the eggs. The heading says the eggs are laid. A hen usually lays 1 egg a day. The eggs will only grow into chicks if the hen has already mated with a rooster. When a rooster wants to mate, he crows loudly, and as they mate, the rooster fertilizes the hen's eggs. Only fertilized eggs will grow into chicks. Okay, and some of these captions are showing some roosters. It says roosters are bigger than hens. You will know a rooster because of its tall red comb on its head, and they have lots of long tail feathers, much longer than the hens. And it also tells us that a rooster crows. Hens won't make that crowing sound, and the reason the rooster crows, the book tells us, is to tell the other boy the other boy hen, I guess you could say chickens, to stay away. So that's why he makes that noise. Our heading says brooding. When the hen has laid all her eggs in the nest, she sits on them to keep them warm. This is called brooding. The hen has to sit on her eggs while the chicks grow, because if the eggs become cold, the chicks will stop growing and die. The hen even turns her eggs from time to time to keep them warm all over. And a lot of times if you go to a farm, they'll have a special hen house. And a nesting box will be in that hen house where it's a safe place for the hens to lay their eggs and to keep them warm and to keep other wild animals from getting to those eggs, because we all know about how there's predators like coyotes and foxes who they would love to find some of those hen eggs and eat them before they turn into chicks. Unfortunately, if we'd gotten to go to the farm on our field trip, you guys could have seen one of these hen houses. But once again, that's something you can look up on the computer. Inside the egg. Now this is going to kind of show you what it looks like inside the egg here. All bird eggs are protected by a hard shell. Inside of each fertilized egg, a tiny chick is growing. Now boys and girls, they have done something to this photograph. There are words. I wonder if you guys can tell me out loud what text feature that is. I'll give you 5 seconds. I hope you said labels. They have labeled this. This is the shell, the yolk, the chick. And it says inside the egg, the chick is getting food from the yellow yolk. The albumin is the clear liquid that we call the white of the egg. It's protecting the chick and it keeps it warm. So it's kind of like a gel, like a jelly substance. Chicks need air to breathe. So the larger end of the egg has air in its space, and that's the air that the chick is breathing. That's something many of you might not know, that that pointed end on the egg actually has some extra air so the baby chick has something to breathe. Hens lay eggs even when they have not mated. The eggs we eat have not been fertilized. They don't have chicks inside of them. Okay, so the ones that we buy at the store haven't been fertilized. They don't have the babies inside of them. They just, of course, have the actual eggs with the yellow inside. Most chicken egg shells are brown, white, or even a creamy color. Now it's time for the eggs to hatch. After growing for about 3 weeks, the young chicks are ready to break out of their eggs. This is called hatching. Each chick has a sharp point at the top of their beak. It's like a little baby egg tooth. And this is going through the steps. First, the chick uses the egg tooth to crack a hole in the shell. It chips a hole all around the shell. It uses its body to push the shell apart. Then it climbs out of the shell. And number 5, soon all the chicks will hatch out. The newly hatched chicks will cheep very loudly. They're tired and their feathers are wet. Once their feathers dry out, they become nice and fluffy. Life as a chick. The hen looks after her newly hatched chicks. She will keep them warm under her wings. When they are 2 weeks old, the chicks can leave the barn or the hen house and go exploring. Chicks and chickens like to scratch around in the dirt. Guess what they're looking for? I'll give you a couple seconds to talk to somebody in your house about what do you think they scratch for in the dirt. Well, maybe you said worms or bugs, because that is what they like to eat. Chickens do not have teeth, so they can't chew their food. They just swallow it whole. Growing and changing. The chicks grow into adults in just a few months. Glossy feathers will grow in place of those soft, fluffy feathers. The chicks will grow red, fleshy combs on top of their heads, and the combs will keep them cool. And soon, the young hens will start to lay eggs. And when a hen mates, a new life cycle begins again. And this is showing you that roosters have those colorful, large feathers and those combs on their heads. And this is kind of a hen that is less than a year old. So it takes them a while to look nice and fat like the ones we're used to seeing. And then when we get to the end, once again, we have 2 more text features. Our glossary to tell us what some of those words meant in our story. And last but not least, I'm going to let you read this text feature. Tell your neighbor or somebody at home, what do we use the index of a book for? Well, hopefully you told somebody to quickly find what some of the parts of the book are. So if you really liked learning about their nest, We can look through the index, and remember it's arranged in ABC order, so there's A words, B, C, D. So I would want to go kind of to the middle, and there it says nest, and it tells me that's on page 8 and 9, or 12 and 13, or page 22. And so if that's the only thing I wanted to read about were their nest, I would go to those pages. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the book, Egg to Chicken, the life cycle story. And here's my challenge for you. I would like for you sometime in the next few days, write Miss Johnson maybe a little short 5 sentences informational paragraph. Remember, we start with our introduction, so you could write about chicks come from eggs. Maybe you could tell me some facts you remember from the story. Maybe you just want to tell me about birds and what you know about birds and bird eggs and bird nest. And once you give me that introductory sentence, my tongue got tied, then you can give me 2 or 3 facts and then put your ending on there about what you're writing on. So just a little challenge. I would love to see some of your pictures. If you find some eggs at home or something really cool that has to do with a life cycle, share that with Miss Johnson anytime. You guys know how you can contact me through Dojo. I'm going to try to put things up now that I've figured this out with YouTube. So I'm going to try to add a few more things each day or so, little challenges. But we're going to keep talking about springtime changes, and I'm going to keep you updated on our nest and the eggs and what's happening. So when they start to change, I'll definitely come back on and let you guys see the changes happening. I miss you all, and I can't wait to see you again.